Okay everyone, in this video we will discuss about Rolle's theorem and see some simple applications of it in finding roots of an equation. So let us start. So Rolle's theorem was first given by a mathematician named Michel Rolle. After his name this theorem was given, and a long time ago this was first mentioned by Bhaskara II, who was an Indian mathematician. Michel Rolle was given the proof for only polynomial functions. Then comes Lagrange, who given a more general statement for this theorem that was called the Lagrange's mean value theorem. But the proofs of all this theorem in a general form was given by Augustin Cauchy. After a long time, the statements were given. So, and also Augustin Cauchy have given a more general form for mean value theorem, that is called the Cauchy's mean value theorem. So we have Lagrange's mean value theorem in our syllabus, but not Cauchy's one, and none of the proofs. So let us start with Rolle's theorem. So Rolle's theorem says that suppose we are having a function f that is defined on the closed interval a b to r. Note this closed interval here, and this function satisfies three conditions. Number one, that this function is continuous on the closed interval a b. It's a very important thing that the continuity should be on the closed interval. Number two, that the function f is differentiable on the open interval a b. This is also important, that the differentiability we require only in the inside part, that is the open interval, not at the end points a and b. If at those points a and b the function is differentiable, then we don't have any problem, but we don't require the differentiability at the points a and b. Number three, the functional values at the point a and b should be equal. So if these three conditions are satisfied by a function, then we can conclude that then there exists at least one C in the open interval a b. Mention it. The end points will not be the point C. It will be inside the interval, such that we can say that the derivative at the point C will be 0. This is a statement for the theorem that says that if a function defined on the closed interval a b to r satisfies these three conditions, that f is continuous on the closed interval, f is differentiable on the open interval, and at the end points the function is having the same value, then we can say that there exists at least one C that is inside the interval a b, that is, it should not be the end points, such that the derivative at the point C will be 0. So what is the meaning for this theorem? Why we study this? So let us verify all the things one by one. For our convenience, I am taking the picture in the first quadrant. So suppose this point is A and this point is B here, and we are starting with the third condition, that FA and FB are equal. That means, say this is the height where we get the values of FA and FB. This one is FA and here it is FB. Now we come to the first condition, that f is continuous. Now what is the actual meaning of continuity? we can say there should be no break in the curve while we are drawing it. We cannot lift the pen from the board while we are drawing the curve for the function f. So the curve should look like this, no breaks, and it is passing through both the points A and B, means FA and MP, right? And the third thing is the function is differentiable. The meaning of differentiability is that we can draw tangents on this curve. There should not be any hinge like this. Say if we take the curve like this, then this should not be differentiable at this point, because whenever there is a hinge in the curve, the slope of the tangent in the left of the hinge is something, and in the right of the hinge is different from the left. So in this kind of function, the right hand derivative and left hand derivative will be different, so that the function is being not differentiable. So to be differentiable, this kind of hinge should not be in the function, and so that we can draw tangents to the curve. So see, in this curve we can draw tangents easily, so that in the right and left of each point the tangent have the same slope. Okay. So all the three conditions are satisfied by this curve. And now come to the conclusion. It says that there should be a point C within the interval AB such that f dash C becomes 0. Now if f dash C becomes 0, then what is the meaning? F dash C is the value of the slope of the tangent to the function f at x equals to C. So, and f dash C is becoming 0 means the slope of the tangent is 0, and whenever some line is having 0 slope, that means the line should be parallel to x-axis. So here it is saying that the tangent should be horizontal, that is parallel to x-axis. So we will get this point C somewhere here, so that the slope of the tangent becomes 0, that is f dash C becomes 0. So Rolle's theorem is saying basically this thing, that when the function is continuous on the closed interval AB and it is differentiable on the open interval AB, and the functional values at the end points are same, then there should exist a point C which satisfies this condition, that is the derivative will be 0. So this is Rolle's theorem all about, that the existence of some point where the derivative becomes 0. Now this kind of points are also known as stationary points, or you can say extreme points. We will talk about this later in the application of derivative, that is maxima minima. So for now, you just remember the name of this point. So basically Rolle's theorem is a theorem that says about the existence of stationary point on a function. But it says that whenever the function is continuous and differentiable in the specified domains, that is continuous on closed interval and differentiable on open interval, and at the end points the function is having the same value, then there exists a stationary point in the open interval AB. Now let us see at some examples so that it becomes more clear. Okay, also remember one thing, the conclusion is this, the statement is saying that there should be at least one C. So can we get more than one? See, if you take the function, the curve like this, then at all these points we are getting a parallel tangent to the x-axis. That means if you take the interval like this here and here, so this is A, and say this is B. So then see, within the interval you can get lots of points where the tangent is becoming parallel to the x-axis. So yes, we can get more than one points like C where the derivative is becoming 0. That means more than one stationary point we can get here. So let us see some examples. For the first example, we come to the function f from minus 1 1 to r defined by fx equal to x square. A simple function. Okay, let us draw the curve for this. Say here it is minus 1 and here it is 1. So clearly we can see that this is the height where we are getting the function value and they are same. This is here 0, x-axis and y-axis. So now let us see whether we can apply Rolle's theorem in this function or not. So condition 1, that the function should be continuous on the domain, here minus 1 1. Clearly x square is a polynomial kind of function and every polynomial function we know becomes continuous in any domain, in all over R. So it will be continuous in its all the subsets. So here we can straight away say that it is continuous on the closed interval minus 1 1. Number 2, again we know that this polynomial functions are also differentiable. So here we can also mention that the function is also differentiable throughout the set R. So it should be differentiable on the open interval also. Number 3, that the value of the function at the end points of the domain should be equal. That is, f of minus 1 should be equal to f of 1. Now what is f of minus 1? It is 1 and this is the value of f of 1 because 1 square is 1. So we are getting all the conditions satisfied by f. So by the conclusion we can say here that there exists C such that f dash C equals to 0. So let us see what is the value of C and whether it lies within the interval or not. So f dash C, what is f dash C? The function is x square, so its derivative is 2x, and at the point C it should be 2C. Now clearly we can see that C is becoming 0 and that belongs to the open interval minus 1 1. So clearly we can say from here that we can find an stationary point or an extreme point where the function is becoming, the derivative of the function is becoming 0, that is the tangent to the curve, that is the x-axis here, and it is parallel to itself. So we can say, or if satisfies Rolle's theorem. So this is our first example about Rolle's theorem. Next we see another example that will not satisfy Rolle's theorem. Okay, let us take the second example here. If from say minus 2 to 2 var fx equal to mod x. So whether this one will satisfy Rolle's theorem. So first let us see whether the conditions are satisfied or not. So number 1, we check the continuity, and if you see the graph for mod x, it will look like this. We have seen this in a different video on India's, I think, in differentiability. So number 1, if you see the graph, you will see that the function has no break point within its domain. Say here it is minus 2 and here it is 2. So clearly for both the points we are having the same value. So clearly the function is continuous on the closed interval. Number 2, what about the differentiability? If you see this line in the left of 0, the function is having the slope -1. This is the definition for the function. So if you see in the left side of 0, the function has derivative -1. That means the slope of the tangent in this part is -1, and also for the positive part you see the derivative is 1. So here you cannot say that the function is having equal right hand derivative and left hand derivative at the point 0. So we cannot say that the function is differentiable at the point 0. So not differentiable at x equals to 0, and then belongs to the required open interval. So we cannot say that this function is satisfying the conditions of Rolle's theorem. So we cannot apply Rolle's theorem in this function. So we will state here that Rolle's theorem is not applicable. So we can get functions where the third conditions may not be satisfied, or the first condition, the function is not continuous. Now if the function is not continuous, then we will get the function is not differentiable also. So in that case, the first two conditions are not satisfying. So clearly then we can say the function is not satisfying Rolle's theorem's conditions, so that Rolle's theorem is not applicable for those functions. So these are some examples. So another example we see, that is sin x. Suppose we take the example f from 0 to pi to r, defined by fx equal to sin x. And we know how the function sin x look within the interval 0 to pi. Suppose this point is pi, here it is 0, x axis and y axis. So sin will look like this. At the point pi by 2, here it is 1, and at the point 0 and pi, the function having the value is 0. So number 1, we know that the function is continuous, so we can say it is continuous on the closed interval 0 pi. And we know that it is also differentiable throughout the set of real numbers. So we can also say that differentiability is differentiable on the open interval. And number 3 that I had mentioned previously, that f of 0 and f of pi are equal and they are equal to 0. So all the conditions of Rolle's theorem are satisfied here. So let us come to the conclusion that there exists some c belongs to 0 pi such that f dash c will be 0. And what is f dash c? It is cos c is equals to 0. So cos c equals to 0 means where it becomes 0, cos, it becomes 0 at pi by 2. So from here we can say c is pi by 2. And also from the picture you can see that the pi by 2 is a stationary point. That means here the tangent is parallel. Also we can say the derivative is 0. Okay. So we can see that sin x satisfies Rolle's theorem. So in this way we verify whether a function qualifies for Rolle's theorem or not, whether Rolle's theorem can be applied to the function or not. Next, let us see two very important applications of Rolle's theorem. Okay, so this is the first application for Rolle's theorem. That suppose we are having a polynomial equation and alpha and beta are two roots of this equation, then we will see that there should be at least one point between alpha and beta which should be a root of this equation f dash x equals to 0. That is called the derived equation of fx equal to 0. We can prove this assertion using Rolle's theorem. So what it is saying that if alpha is here and beta is here and these are the roots of the equation fx equal to 0, that means f alpha and f beta both are 0, then we can get at least one root of the equation f dash x equals to 0. That can be written like this: f dash c equal to 0. Since f dash c equal to 0, then we can say f dash x equals to 0 as a root at x equal to c. These two are the same meaning. Okay. So let us see how we can prove it. So first of all, the equation is a polynomial equation. Then we can say that f is continuous, and since polynomial equations are everywhere continuous, then we can say it should be continuous on the interval taken as alpha, closed interval alpha beta. Similarly, polynomials are always differentiable, so we can say this f should be differentiable on the open interval alpha beta. And also the third condition is easily verified because both these alpha and beta are zeros of the equation fx equal to 0. So these are the three conditions for Rolle's theorem, and all the three are satisfied here. So from the conclusion we can say that there exists at least one C within the open interval alpha beta such that f dash c equal to 0. So it is proved straightforward applying the Rolle's theorem. So it is nothing but another point of view of Rolle's theorem, that whenever you are having a polynomial equation and then between any two roots of that equation there should be a root of the derived equation, that is f dash x equals to 0. So let us see another application of Rolle's theorem that says about the roots of the usual equation fx equal to 0 from its derived equation. So this is our second application for Rolle's theorem. It says that let fx equals to 0 be a polynomial equation, then between two consecutive roots, remember two consecutive roots of f dash x equals to 0, there exists at most one root of the equation fx equals to 0. That means the roots of f dash x equals to 0 here should be consecutive, point 1, and point 2, there is at most one root. If there is no root, it may be, but if there exists a root, that should be the only one root bit of fx equals to 0 between the roots of f dash x equals to 0. So if you draw the line here, say these are the roots of alpha and beta, say I am taking it as alpha less than beta, and they are the consecutive roots of f dash x equals to 0, then this is saying that between alpha and beta there should be a root. If there is a root for fx equals to 0, that should be the only one, at most one root. So let us see how we can prove it. So we will prove this statement using contradiction method. That means we will assume the negative of the statement we have to prove, and then we will see that there should be some absurd thing which is not possible. So from that we will say our assumption is wrong and the statement here it is true. So since the statement is saying there should be at most one, suppose we assume that alpha and beta are two consecutive roots with alpha less than beta, and gamma and delta are two roots of fx equals to 0 between alpha and beta. So it is saying that, and also we assume that this gamma is less than delta. So what we can write here, that alpha less than gamma less than delta less than beta, where clearly f dash is continuous so then we are having f dash alpha equals to 0 and it is equals to f dash beta, because both are roots of f dash x equals to 0, and also f gamma is equals to 0 is equals to f beta, because these are roots of fx equals to 0. Now since f is a polynomial function, we can apply Rolle's theorem, that is the previous application, and it says that there exists at least one root say R belongs to gamma and delta such that f dash R equals to 0, and this says that R is a root of f dash x equals to 0. That means we are again getting some R between gamma and delta. So it says that alpha and beta are not consecutive roots. There is a root between alpha and beta, that is R. So this is our contradiction, that we have assumed that alpha and beta are two consecutive roots here, and we are getting that there is another root between alpha and beta for the equation f dash x equals to 0. So from here we can say that this contradiction arises from our assumption that there are two roots of fx equals to 0 between alpha and beta. So this assumption is not correct, and the given statement is the correct one, that is there exists at most one root of fx equals to 0 between two consecutive roots of f dash x equals to 0. So that's how we apply Rolle's theorem in this statement. Okay, so now let us solve some problems on Rolle's theorem. Okay, this is the first problem that says fx equals to 4x x square minus 4x plus 3 on the closed interval 1, 3. So first of all we verify all the properties, all the conditions for Rolle's theorem. Number 1, this is a polynomial function. So we can say that f is a polynomial function and hence it is continuous on the closed interval 1, 3. Number 2, see again a polynomial function is always differentiable. So again f is differentiable on the open interval 1, 3. The third condition, that is the equality of the functional values at 1 and 3. So what is f1? It's 1 square minus 4 into 1 plus 3. say it is becoming 0, and also with 3 is 3 square minus 4 into 3 plus 3, it is again 0, because you can see that 1 and 3 are the roots for this quadratic equation, so they will become 0. So from here easily we can say that all the conditions for Rolle's theorem are satisfied by this function, so we can apply Rolle's theorem here. So by Rolle's theorem we can say that there exists C in the open interval 1, 3, so that f dash C becomes 0. Now what is f dash C? It is the derivative for this function at the point C. And what is the derivative for x square? It is 2x, and the point C it is 2c, minus derivative of 4x is 4, and the derivative of 3 is 0. So this becomes 0. And clearly from here we can say C becomes 2, which belong to the open interval 1, 3. So we can say that Rolle's theorem is verified for this function because the conclusion is very much satisfied here. So also one thing, see, the application we have seen regarding Rolle's theorem, that between any two roots of fx equals to 0 there exists a root of f dash x equals to 0. See here, what is the function f dash x? It is 2x minus 4, and if you consider the equation f dash x equals to 0, you see 2x minus 4 equals to 0, that has a root x equals to half, x equals to 2, that we are obtaining here at the point C, and 1 and 3 are the roots of this equation. That is, if you consider fx equals to 0, then you get the equation x square minus 4x plus 3 equals to 0, whose solutions are 1 and 3. So in the line, suppose here is 1, here is 3, so these are the zeros of fx equals to 0, and in the intermediate it is 2, which is the 0 of f dash x equals to 0. So the application we have seen previously very much satisfies this thing, this example, that between the roots of x square minus 4x plus 3 equals to 0, there exists a root of f dash x equals to 0, that is 2x minus 4 equal to 0. Okay. So let us see another example regarding Rolle's theorem. This is our next problem, that says verify Rolle's theorem for fx equal to root over of 4 minus x square on the interval, closed interval, minus 2 to 2. So here, first we check the continuity. Since it is a square root function and the precise domain is minus 2 to closed interval, we know that the function is continuous in the prescribed domain. But still, let us check it using the limit criteria, that the limit of the function, say at some point A in the domain, will be equals to the functional value at that point. So if you evaluate the limit, you can see you can easily put the value x equals to a here. So the limit should be 4 minus a square, and which is the functional value at the point A, where a we have taken as any point within the interval. So we can say that f is continuous at any a belongs to the closed interval, that is on the closed interval minus 2 to, because it is continuous at every point in the closed interval minus 2 to, that means the function is continuous on the interval minus 2 to. Number 2, we see the differentiability. For that, let us differentiate the function. Means we will differentiate it and see whether any problematic point is there where the derivative doesn't exist. So what is the derivative for this function? We apply chain rule. First we do the derivative for the square root function, that is 1 by 2 to the power of 4 minus x square, and then for the interior part, that is 4 minus x square, and that has the derivative minus 2x. So from here this 2 will cancel out and you will get this one. Now for the existence of derivative, this should exist as a real number, and the existence of this implies that 4 minus x square greater or equals to 0. This gives us that x belongs to the open interval minus 2 to, which is the required one. So from here we can say that f is differentiable on minus 2 to. And number 3, it was the condition that f of minus 2 should be equals to f of 2. So let us calculate f of minus 2. It is 4 minus 4, that is 0, and f of 2 is also the same thing, so I am writing it here. So all the 3 conditions for Rolle's theorem are verified. So let us find the value c where the derivative becomes 0. So by Rolle's theorem, now we can say if there exists a point c within the open interval minus 2 2 such that f dash c becomes 0, and we have calculated f dash x, so it is nothing but minus c by the power of 4 minus c square is equals to 0. This in turn gives c is equals to 0. This 0 belongs to the open interval clearly. So the conclusions for Rolle's theorem is verified here. So we can say for this function f(x), Rolle's theorem is verified. Okay. So this is the example. Let us do another one, that is the final. This is our next problem. The question is saying that we have to verify Rolle's theorem for this function on the indicated interval. So let us again one by one verify the conditions. The first one, the first condition is the continuity. So again you can clearly see that the function is a polynomial one and it is continuous. So we will write f is continuous on the closed interval 0 3 as it is a polynomial function. Number 2, the differentiability, and it comes from the polynomial function. So we write f is differentiable on the open interval as it is a polynomial function. The third thing is the interval should be 0, 2. The third thing is the equality of the function at the endpoints. So f of 0 is 0 because x is a factor here, and f of 2 is again 0 because x minus 2 is a factor here. So all the conditions are satisfied. So by Rolle's theorem, we can say that there exists c within the open interval 0 2 such that f dash c becomes 0. Now let us find f dash c. So just do f dash x separately here. See, it is the product of three factors. So we apply the product rule for derivative. So we keep x and x minus 1 fixed, and derivative for x minus 2, that is 1, plus we keep x and x minus 2 fixed, and the derivative for x minus 1 is 1, and finally we keep x minus 1 and x minus 2 fixed, the derivative for x is 1. So what it is x squared minus x plus x squared minus 2x plus x squared minus 3x plus 2. So 3x squared minus 6x plus 2. So for f dash c we can write 3c squared minus 6c plus 2 is equals to 0. So let us find the value of c. It's a quadratic equation, so we apply Siddharacharya formula. So that is minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by 2a, and what we get is 36 minus 24 divided by 6. That means 6 plus minus is 12 by 6. That means root 12 means 2 root 3. So 1 plus minus root 3 by, it is 2 root 3 by 6. That means if you cancel it 2 and 6, it should be root 3 by 3. So see, the value here is lying in the interval. Both the values are lying in the interval here, because we know that root 3 is 1.732 and approximately. So here, see, this becomes 1 plus minus 1 by root 3. That means 1 by root 3 will be in this interval 0 and 1. So you are adding adding a quantity which is between 0 and 1 with 1, then it will become greater than 1, that is in between 1 and 2, and you are subtracting once the same quantity from 1. So that will lie in 0, 1. So we are getting actually two values, 1 plus 1 by root 3, that will belongs to 1 comma 2, and 1 minus 1 by root 3, that will belong to 0, 1. So in both the cases we are getting the values within 0, 2. So here we get two values of c where the derivative becomes 0, and both the points are lying within the interval 0, 2. So this says that the function x into x minus 1 into x minus 2 satisfies Rolle's theorem. Again you verify that this was the function f dash x. And the second application of Rolle's theorem we will verify now, that between the roots of f dash x equals to 0, there exists at most one root of fx equals to 0. So for f dash x equals to 0, we get this equation 3x squared minus 6x plus 2 equals to 0, which have the roots 1 plus 1 by root 3 and 1 minus 1 by root 3, and fx equals to 0 is this equation. So fx equals to 0 is the equation x into x minus 1 into x minus 2 is equals to 0, which has the roots as x equals to 0, 1, 2. Now see, if you look carefully, you will see that on the line 0 is here, say here is 1, here is 2. So this 1 plus 1 by root 3 is between 1 and 2 somewhere. It is not in the exactly in the middle part. It will be near to 1. So it is 1 plus 1 by root 3 here. And 1 minus 1 by root 3 will also be near to 1, that is here. See. So this is 1 minus 1 by root 3. So these are the roots of f dash x equals to 0. And 0, 1 and 2 are the roots of fx equals to 0. So clearly you can verify the application, that statement that says between the two consecutive roots of f dash x equals to 0, there exists at most one root for the equation fx equals to 0. Here that the root for fx equals to 0 is 1, and the roots for f dash x equals to 0 is 1 minus 1 by root 3 and 1 plus 1 by root 3. So that thing is also verified from here. So this is all about Rolle's theorem. I think everyone has understood all the things. These are all the problems. So let us end this video here.